What's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Dayton Triangles franchise here on Madden 25, featuring 31 other team builder squads in order to create a UFL, at least envision, here in Madden 25. Now, we're here in this 5th season, and while we made the UFL championship game last season, we are very quickly proving that last year is so far in the past. We started the season off 0-3, and now we find ourselves on Monday Night Football, coming out and desperately needing a must-win game. And we're going to take on a team in this episode that is going to try to get some revenge on us, to be honest with you, as we beat these guys in the playoffs last year. But the thing is, they're also 0-3, and they're also hungry for a win. Should be an intriguing matchup here as the 15th best offense takes on an average defense, while one of the worst offenses in the league goes up against one of the worst defenses in the league that we have. So should be a fun one here, man. Hopefully you stick around for some Monday Night Football action here, man. And if you guys are as excited as I am, I need you to go ahead and do a couple of things for me. Hit that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into a couple of things that we got to take care of first before we even jump into Monday Night Football. Alright, boys, so let's go ahead and jump into this press conference that we have leading into our week number 4 matchup. And it's been a rough go here in the first 3 games of the season, but we had some conversations about Marvin Whitfield and how he's played, and they asked us what he's done well this season so far. And at least, to my knowledge, I know it's not completion percentage, I know it's not avoiding turnovers, so I went with yards per attempt here. Just seems like he's someone that is pushing the ball down the field, but they don't necessarily agree with that. Probably should have gone with maybe avoiding sacks or something like that. And that's unfortunately going to hurt us here a little bit, because what we are going to see is we are going to see a morale drop from Marvin Whitfield because of that question. Alright, so we definitely messed things up with our quarterback, but we do have a couple of players that do deserve some upgrades, so we're actually going to go ahead and get that taken care of for him. One is our first round pick in Jeff Sharp. Now, Jeff Sharp is suffering a little bit of a morale degradation, as his morale is taking him down in overall, but after we work on his pass coverage, he does actually jump up 2 overalls. He's now going to be a 74 overall after the +4 to zone coverage. And we also figure out what his upgrade's gonna be. He is gonna be a superstar dev right out the gate. So we got an amazing draft pick right away, and it just goes to show why we had to get this guy on the field right away. He's definitely going to be starting for us at the middle linebacker position, at least for the foreseeable future. And then the other person that's getting upgraded is a developmental piece in Randy Dawkins. Now, Randy Dawkins actually is getting a temporary boost, sitting at 69 overall, but after his run stopper upgrade, he is up to a 70, so becoming a much more usable player at this point. +5 to finesse, as well as a +2 to power moves, is really nice to see. Randy Dawkins, one of those players that is quietly turning into a quality dev piece for us on our franchise. Alright, boys, so let's go ahead and jump into a critical Monday night matchup between us and the Boston Mariners, as we'll go ahead and jump into the first drive of the game, because we actually forced Boston to go 3-and-out. What an amazing concept. As we'll start at about midfield, as we'll hand the ball off to Jonathan McGriff, and McGriff does find a little bit of running room in his first carry of the game, manages to find 5 yards. So it makes his second down a lot more manageable, as Marvin Whitfield drops back to pass for the first time today and finds the second-year man out of Oklahoma State in Mitch Woodson, as Mitch Woodson will pick up the first down, as we'll go ahead and throw yet again, finding DeAndre Bazier, the third-year man out of Wake Forest, as DeAndre Bazier nearly picks up the first down. And, this is kind of the blueprint in terms of how we're going to go about winning this game. We got to stay ahead of the chains, and if we can help ourselves, let's try to see if we can win that time possession battle as well. Limit the amount of time that our defense is actually on the field, because it is certainly not the same caliber of defense that I want to say as what we had last season, right? So definitely something to keep an eye on, as Whitfield will again drop back the pass, looks over the middle and finds DeAndre Bazier yet again. And DeAndre Bazier is going to move the ball downfield, making this 3rd and short a lot more manageable. And we'll see if we can pick it up with Jonathan McGriff as we try to run the halfback counter. He picks it up inside the 5. And that is indeed going to be a 1st down for your Dayton Triangles, as that will move the sticks. And now we have free plays to get less than 5 yards. We'll see if we can get it done here as we'll move the tight end, Grayson Heidick, into motion, moving to the left-hand side. But we get hit in the backfield, and we're going to be marked short. And already a key decision here on 4th down. And you know what? We're going to grow some cojones because we're going to go for it. Whitfield drops back, fires over the middle, and finds DeAndre Bazier in the end zone. Touchdown, Triangles. And with that, that is how we're going to get the first points of the day. Going to be up 7-0. And also forcing yet another 3 and out on the Boston offense. So a chance to really build upon this lead early and often, as once again we face a 3rd and short. So, we're certainly building some momentum. I just want to make sure that momentum keeps being built as Whitfield drops back over the middle. And again, finds DeAndre Bazier, who has been a favored target here early on, as that's going to be another 1st down for the Dayton Triangles. As seems like we are doing a very good job, providing some good balance. DeAndre Bazier seems like he's poised for a potential breakout down the road, the way that he's playing in this particular game, or at least at the start. And to top things off as well, Boston facing some depth issues as one of their defensive tackles has to leave the game briefly. We're hoping that's not too terribly serious of an injury, as Jonathan McGriff will go ahead and move things forward as they'll get across the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up as Whitfield drops back, fires to the right-hand side, finds DeAndre Bazier, and Bazier is going to move it forward. Gain of 6 on the play, as that will be yet another 1st down for Dayton Triangles, as McGriff again runs up the middle for the final play of the 1st quarter, and it moves the sticks inside the 5-yard line, and that's already going to be an end of the 1st quarter of action. It's been a one-sided affair, definitely dominating more than what the scoreboard suggests. So let's make sure we go out here and finish the job as we go play action. Whitfield over the middle, he finds Justin Freelove, the former 1st-round pick and left tackle. He came in as an extra lineman but was reported as eligible. And with that being said, Justin Freelove going to get his 1st career touchdown of his young UFL career. And with that being said, we're going to be able to keep things rolling here, now up 14-0. As now Boston is going to be desperate to get some points on the board. For the very first time today, they do find Taven Black on the outside to set up 2nd and short. And now eventually beat our first down of the ball game. It took more than a quarter to accomplish, but they got it done though, as they go play action their next play. Firing over to the right-hand side as Dwight Cunningham was there on the coverage, but it was more because of the receiver actually dropping the pass. We certainly got lucky there, as again, Boston tries to go play action, but J.J. Peters is having absolutely none of it. He's going to be able to get home and reach the quarterback. And that was a substantial loss as well. That is a loss of 15 on the play, and it's going to make this 3rd and almost impossible. Gotta reach about midfield in order to keep the drive moving, as J.J. Peters nearly sacks him again. But once more, Boston is going to have to punt this ball away. So now, real opportunity here to really make this game more interesting, as we've been hitting them pretty well on the ground. So we'll go play action here. Whitfield, plenty of time, wants to go for it. Oh, and wanted Leon Thomas. But the man that was covering, I believe it was Kim Johnson on the outside, and it was Marquise Colvin with the interception. Well, he leaves his defender to go contest Leon Thomas's ball. And that is going to provide a huge shift in momentum potentially as Boston will take over across midfield. They'll actually start in Dayton territory as they'll look over the middle of the field. And that honestly should have been a touchdown as they were able to break down cover 2. But instead, it's going to be 2nd and 10 coming up as Dubois is going to fire over to the right-hand side. It's going to complete the pass. And that's going to be a massive gain for Boston Mariners. Putting together their best drive so far today as they're encroaching on the red zone for the first time in this ball game as Travis Dubois drops back, fires over to the right-hand side, makes a man miss originally. And Cameron Spencer, the outside linebacker, has to come in and clean things up there. Is now 3rd and 5 coming up. Dubois winding up under center in the I formation. Gonna fake the play action as Dubois with some time over to left-hand side. And it's nearly intercepted. Ty Moody was able to get a hand on it, but cannot complete the interception though. And so Boston will go ahead and settle for a field goal. But very next drive for Dayton was not very fruitful. They actually had to go 3 and out. So this is the perfect opportunity for Boston to get right back into the game as we got some blocks 10 yards downfield well before the ball was thrown. And he's still on his feet. Tavion Black down the sideline. And he is going to be gone like a girl in a country song. Touchdown Boston as Travion Black is going to single-handedly carry Boston right back into the game. So now we're only up by 4 with 4 minutes left to play in the first half as we'll once again go play action. This time finding DeAndre Bazier, who's having himself a half so far, garnering his 7th catch of the first half already. You'll love to see it. But can we build upon that explosive passing play as they'll face 3rd and long? Whitfield in the shotgun. He's got some time to throw. Wants to go to right inside. Targeting Cameron Johnson on the one-on-one. Looking for the 3rd-year man out of Mississippi Valley State. Unfortunately, he cannot complete the play. So we got to put the ball back over to Boston, which ended up resulting in a touchback. So for the first time today, Boston could potentially take the lead depending on how things shake out on this drive. And this is just a disaster after being up 14-0 originally. Going with the jet sweep on the right-hand side, but cuts it back in because we did not have the discipline with the first-round rookie Jeff Sharp. As their running back is actually going to go down. He looks like he's having some kind of injury. Will need to be reevaluated on the sideline, but we'll be done for the remainder of this drive as we'll get into the last play before the 2-minute warning. Looking downfield, he might have a man over the left-hand side, and Ty Moody get caught looking in the backfield for just a split second. That was the ultimate difference, and Travion Black gives Boston a 3-point lead. So 150 left to play here in the first half as Whitfield drops back over the middle and finds Leon Thomas. I haven't been calling his name too terribly much here in the first half, but we're going to be looking to change that here momentarily as we try to set up a throw over the middle. We find the tight end, Grayson Heineck, who's able to successfully get out of bounds, so we don't have to utilize any of our timeouts, nor go ahead and utilize that no-huddle offense. As now we have 1st and 10 following the explosive play. We try to set it up for Heath Whitehead, who had green grass, but could not get the halfback screen set up soon enough. So instead, it's going to be 2nd and 10 going up where we try to throw over the middle, but it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. So 2 consecutive incompletions for Marvin Whitfield, the 6-year man out of Old Dominion. But it will not be a 3rd because DeAndre Bazier puts someone on a poster. Guy putting the ball and finding the end zone as well. Touchdown Dayton. And the Triangles are going to retake the lead. So now 21-17 affair as we get into the final minute of this first half as Travis Dubois is going to drop back, looks to the right-hand side, and oh, what a grab by Burnett. That was certainly not easy at all So 1st and 10 now, going up, firing over the middle, and it's intercepted. Jordan Baptiste was able to make a play, and it's going to be intercepted and brought back to the Boston 42-yard line. Finally evening up this turnover battle, but can't do anything with the turnover though, so we have to try to settle for the field goal where we try to kick it with Felipe Nichols, the 15th-year man out of University of Findlay. But he actually hooks the field goal out to the right-hand side. So unfortunately, that does end up meaning that, we had that golden opportunity, but we certainly squandered said golden opportunity as well. But the 19 seconds left here in the first half as Boston tries to put some points on the board before we go into the halftime locker room. Let's see what our boys can do with 16 seconds left, trying to keep Boston out of the end zone, or at least picking up yet another first down as Dubois is going to drop back, facing a little bit of pressure from J.J. Peters, and it's nearly intercepted. Matt Arnett, the free agent acquisition to help replace Peter Townsend. He had his hands on it, but cannot finish the play, and that could prove costly. Hopefully it doesn't bite us in the butt as we got 7 seconds left to play here in this first half of action. I just go with the over the top. Just kind of watch out for that because they want to send it deep downfield. And in fact, they do over the right-hand side, and it's caught. Travion Black with the huge play. And that's going to be a touchdown for the Boston Mariners. And that's just a huge swing of momentum. We really should be looking at least 24-17. Instead, we are going to be down as we go into the halftime. Taking a look at some games around the league. Orlando looking like a respectable team as they take down the Albany Imperials 18-12. And so that's Orlando's second game of the season. We also had a classic between Evansville and the DC Defenders, but the Defenders win by 1 point, handing Evansville their first loss of the year. And then our divisional rival in Pittsburgh, they lose to New Orleans 27-17. So that's enough about those quick checks around the league. Let's go ahead and jump into this second half. And we did get the ball to start the second half. Unfortunately, didn't do anything with it. And it's going to be exacerbated by giving up yet another long touchdown. It has been a struggle to stop this man because he is certainly a bad man. Let's see if our boys can go ahead and pull themselves together. Down by 10. Definitely need to come out here and get some points on the boards. We want to go deep with Cam Johnson out of Mississippi Valley State, but it's going to be deflected away. And now it's going to be 3rd and long. Whitfield dropping back, facing a blitz, and did not see that safety come down, and Marvin Whitfield throws his second interception of the game. Same player able to bring him down right before reaching the end zone, but to be able to start another drive inside the 5-yard line has to be absolutely devastating. And now it's going to be 1st and goal from the 2. Dubois looking to the right-hand side, but it's going to be broken up by Cameron Spencer. So nice goal line defense there for now. As we get to 3rd and goal, Dubois looking over to the right-hand side, scrambling, and he's got a wide, butt naked open man in the end zone. But Kavion Brown making the reception this time around. And Boston really starting to open things up here. Now we're down by 17 points. And unfortunately, Jonathan McGriff did get hurt. So we are going to see some more Heath Whitehead from here on out. The former 2nd rounder out of the University of Cal. But thankfully for us, we got ourselves a fast little quarterback in Marvin Whitfield. A little bit more mobile than Andrew Collar, who's now enjoying his time on the Houston Texans. As we'll go right back to the ground game. Want to still continue to be loyal to that ground game. That is our bread and butter. No need to panic just yet. Whitehead gonna run it up the gut. He will pick up the first down, but that clock is going to run. I certainly want to make sure we get this to a 2-possession game before we get into the 4th quarter of action. It is absolutely paramount that we score in some way, shape, or form. Now, 3rd and 6 coming up as Joe Spears is going to enter the game, but it's going to be a halfback draw. Spears making a man miss, and it's finally going to be brought down, but not before crossing the 25-yard line. 1st down, Triangles, as that will hopefully provide some lead for Whitfield, I should say, as he will find Leon Thomas. Leon Thomas able to finally get involved in this game. Felt like he's been pretty quiet thus far on this Monday night matchup. As a 3rd and goal from the 10, gotta make something shake. Whitfield trying to step up in the pocket, looking for Cam Johnson, but he's hit before he can fully release the ball. Thankfully, they do count as an incompletion, and we settle for a field goal. But now it becomes even more paramount that our defense must stand tall. We got to keep them out from scoring points. And this is not going to help. Nick Cotton can't catch up with Kavion Brown. And it's a one-hitter quitter, just like a late-night stand. And Boston opens this thing up tremendously. We are now down 45-24. Just an historically bad day for our defense thus far, but one that has had its fair share of bright spots. You know, we do have at least our main man, DeAndre Bossier, with now over 100 yards receiving, but it is becoming more important. No kidding. Field goals are no longer going to cut it. We're going to need some touchdowns from here on out, as that is a beautiful cut by Heath Whitehead, as that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Gonna need some serious help here as we're down by 3 touchdowns going into the final quarter. We're looking for our guys to go ahead and get to work here. Let's see if they have what it takes to get her done. So here we go, start of the 4th quarter of action as Whitfield is gonna get ready to drop back. Looks over to the right-hand side, and it's gonna be a decent little 8-yard gain on the play, as that will help us get a lot closer to picking up the 1st down. But now time is certainly of the paramount as Joe Spears gets the carry and gets across the 10-yard line as well. 1st down for the Dayton Triangles. Hopefully it will set up a relatively quick score. Very next play, Whitfield will step up in the pocket, looking for DeAndre Bossier again. He's been a favorite target for Marvin Whitfield, but unfortunately, he can't corral it, and it's going to lead to another 3rd and long from the 7. Need the boys to go ahead and pick this up here, but we can't do it as Leon Thomas is going to not be able to get a good ball. And because field goals aren't cutting it any longer, we got to convert this 4th and 7. Whitfield looks over the middle. He's got Grayson Heidick, who cuts into the end zone. Touchdown, Dayton! And the Triangles do, in fact, get one on the scoreboard, as the Dayton Triangles will pull to within a couple of possessions. Thankfully for us, we are able to force a 3 and out, so it does open the door for us to try to make some kind of comeback shakeout. But after missing Grayson Heidick on the 3rd and long over on the seam route, they now have 4th and 8 and needing our quarterback to make a play. Whitfield drops back. He rolls to the right. He sees no one's going with him. He's going to go ahead and keep moving out to the right-hand side and gets himself out of bounds in order to preserve that clock a little bit. But 1st down for the Triangles, as they'll temporarily stop the clock while the ball is being reset. McGriff trying to run the ball up the middle, and he is back in the game, thankfully. And here's what Jonathan McGriff has been doing. Been a solid day. Not a liquid or a gas. We're definitely going to need him on this back end as we throw over the middle to Leon Thomas, who gets hit right away by the linebacker Brandon McGee, who's been flying all over the field. He has 8 tackles thus far today, as it leads to a 3rd and short. Whitfield again over the middle, fires, and it's going to be incomplete again. And y'all already know what time it is. We absolutely gotta go for this. 4th and 2 coming up. Under center, can Marvin Whitfield keep this game alive as he's gonna roll to his right, looks. He's going to try to run towards the end zone and gets it. Touchdown, Dayton. And just like that, it's back to being a one-score game. But it all barrels down to his defense. His defense that has not been able to stop a nosebleed since the end of the first quarter. It feels like as Dwight Cunningham was all over him, but still completes the pass anyway. That's just the type of day that it has been in this one. Just can't seem to catch a break. As 3rd and 7 coming up, looking around, Dubois sets and throws over the right-hand side, and it drives it in to Kavion Brown. And what could absolutely be a backbreaker is that is going to take us right into the 2-minute warning, as Dubois is going to go ahead and try to run it up the left-hand side. The backup tailback getting some motion. And unfortunately, we will have to use a timeout just to try to keep ourselves alive a little bit. But we got to stop the run a whole lot better than that. And I don't think we're going to be able to do that at all, as we give up another big run, leading to yet another timeout in the process. It's now 1st and 10. Gonna go ahead and see them run it up the right-hand side. And I would have preferred to have allowed them to score here. Just could not click on in time. And with them running the ball here and finding the end zone, it at least keeps the door open, which I was very surprised that they didn't decide to take a knee there. Thought they would play the analytics a little bit more. But hey, we are down by 2 scores. 1 minute left, and we need some hope here, and maybe Joe Spears can ride it up the middle of the field, but gets tracked down but behind. What a return by the special teams Renaissance man and Joe Spears. And so this gives us great field position here, but we got to score quickly though. As we go ahead and make some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Whitfield drops back, looks to the right-hand side as we tried to throw it out to Leon Thomas, but he can't corral it in. So now, 3rd and 10 coming up after a throwaway as Whitfield gets into the pocket, looks around, fires to the right-hand side, and we had a step for Cam Johnson, the man out of Mississippi Valley State, but we overthrew him, and so we're going to need yet another 4th down conversion. Feel like it's been a common theme here in this second half. Whitfield fires to the right-hand side, finds Grayson hiding for the 1st down. Even successful in getting out of bounds as well. And the injury timeout to top it off is going to help us out in terms of saving some time. So now, 34 seconds left in the game. Whitfield's going to throw over to right-hand side, and we wanted Leon Thomas. He was open, but we put the ball in a bad location. Led him a little bit too far to the inside, and it should have been a touchdown, but instead, it's 2nd and 10. Very next play, trying to throw again to that similar spot, but can't hit Cam Johnson either. That's 2 inaccurate throws in a row for Marvin Whitfield. Let's see if he can lock in here and make sure it's not 3 in a row. Matter of fact, we find Cam Johnson in the end zone. Touchdown, Dayton. And the Triangles are back to having it as a 1-possession game. But on top of that, too, we're going to go for 2. We're feeling a little spicy. We feel the momentum is on our side offensively. And the 2-point conversion is successful, so an extra point would win it if we can find a way to score. But first, we got to find a way to get the ball back in our hands. An onside kick that's going to determine whether this game continues or not. We recover it. We recover the onside kick. And we have a pulse. Got to drive the ball 60 yards downfield. And we have no timeouts to do it. Whitfield drops back, fires to the left-hand side, and finds Grayson Heidick. Able to pick up a few yards there in the process, as now it leads to 2nd and 4. Whitfield again, dropping back, looks over the left-hand side. He's going to be sacked. Marvin Whitfield is going to be sacked in the backfield. We try to run no huddle, but that is effectively going to end the game, and that is how we lose. What a classic here, but we're going to drop our 4th consecutive game to start the season. we will lose 52-46, and it's a tough pill to swallow. But man, I'll tell you what, that 0-3 battle was an absolute shootout. You gotta talk about the greatest game kind of level of game here, man, and we certainly got it. This was an extremely fun game to play. Over 1,300 yards of total offense, but really the difference was, we just made slightly more mistakes than, Boston did on their overside. We didn't win the turnover battle. We also failed to, make a field goal as well, which certainly does not help our case at all. And even though we dominate the time of possession, it simply wasn't enough, and we drop another game. What I will say, though, is that we certainly had almost the Jameis Winston experience here at quarterback here today, as Marvin Whitfield, he was up and down today. Over 260 yards and 5 touchdowns, but also threw 2 interceptions and barely had a completion percentage of over 50%. So, I mean, it was certainly that good old-fashioned, Jameis Winston experience at the quarterback position. Jonathan McGriff did run the ball pretty well, I would say. He averaged about 4.5 yards a carry, which, we certainly enjoyed. Heath Whitehead also got 13 carries today, and he looked pretty effective. Marvin Whitfield also had a rushing touchdown, plus a 30-yard run, which is our longest run that we had in the game. And then Joe Spears, who is a special teams specialist, he actually got a few carries with Jonathan McGriff getting hurt and was pretty effective when he had those opportunities. One person I've definitely felt shined the most offensively, though, was the Andre Bazier. He had a big game in this one. 9 catches, 105 yards, had 2 touchdowns as well, including, mossing somebody into the end zone. Grayson Heineck and Champ Johnson were both able to find the end zone as well. But, we continue to have challenges in terms of getting Leon Thomas the ball consistently, though. Was our 4th receiver today in terms of receiving yards. Definitely want to change that moving forward. But there's a reason why we lost this game, and frankly, it was because of our defense. They played like ass. I mean, when your corner is leading the team in tackles, that is an issue. They had 6 tackles, and then Cameron Spencer and Niles Cotton had 5 on their own. And the crazy part is, I thought we did a pretty good job of generating pressure. J.J. Peters in the first half, he had 2 sacks, and then Greg Sharp was also able to get a sack as well. Granted, these all happened in the first half. We also managed to force a turnover as well. Jordan Baptiste, the backup middle linebacker, was successful in getting an interception, but, it was a tough day for us defensively, and there's a reason why we haven't won a game yet this season. It is all because of our defense. So one of our defensive players after the game do end up getting an upgrade, and frankly, we need our defense to play better, because ain't no way we can give up, we can score like 40 plus points in a game and lose, and we need an onside kick just to have a chance in the first place. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Matt Arnett is going to at least get an upgrade. We'll give him a man-to-man, and he does at least get up to an 84 overall, which is cool, I guess, with the +2 to man coverage. But man, falling to 0-4, like I probably said earlier, it just doesn't feel good at all, man. I'm going to be honest with you. But here it is, guys. Our team has played 4 games so far this season, and we have lost 4 games so far this season. Our defense not playing well in any of the games that we've played in thus far, but our offense is starting to heat up. So certainly, our defense has to accidentally walk into a good day, right? So we're going to try to figure this out, as we have 4 primetime games that we still need to play in a row. As next episode, we will have Salt Lake City coming into our building, as this will be the 2nd of 5 consecutive primetime games that we have. We just gotta figure it out, man. One way or the other, we just have to come out. We gotta get it done, man. It's been embarrassing so far this season, and I'm hoping that we can turn it around. So hope you guys join me in the next episode, man, as we take on the Salt Lake City Condors. And if you enjoyed this video, man, if you love the offensive firepower in this episode, make sure you do a couple of things for me. Hit that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.